Harry Potter is such an interesting phenomenon because even though the left tries so hard just to go at J.K. Rowling and tear her down on every single level, it kind of just got too big to fail, which is really, really funny because the left really loved to prop it up 20 years ago to begin with. It was kind of like their calling card. They actually used Harry Potter very funnily to kind of be an anti-Christianity sort of thing and a big cultural item that they wanted to support. And then J.K. Rowling was like, oh, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. And she's also a Christian lady, so it kind of just was a dumb argument for them to do to begin with. But they all lost their minds over the last few years, as we know. Now, John Lithgow actually had a bunch of pressure applied onto him to cancel playing Dumbledore in the new Harry Potter series because of the leftists, from LGBTQ plus activists. And guess what? It failed. He doesn't care. And this is interesting. It's just showing how impotent their mobs are. And there's a reason for that, which we'll get into in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in the culture, especially when it comes to Harry Potter and the fantasy news, my friends. This is the real fantasy news. We are very different than what Daniel Green offers, which is he's got just a shill, thing that just, Wheel of Time Season 3 is happening right now. We know that corporate culture has a lot of cancer to it, and a lot of it's coming from the LGBTQ plus activism, which is really just a death cult that's spinning out of communism. We could talk about why that is for hours. If you know, you know, and I just assume that most of my people are very smart here and very well-read and know their history, so I don't have to go too in-depth into that stuff. So we cover the news, and I appreciate you guys for being here. I'm also a fantasy writer myself. And I'm actually blacklisted from publishing. As you can see, I've had a bestseller, multiple bestsellers here, but this is really my bestseller. It's called For Steam and Country, and it is a fantasy series about an airship crew that adventures. They fight monsters. It's very all ages friendly. You can enjoy it as adults. You can let your kids read it. Totally good. And that's the type of stuff that Harry Potter made famous, right? And that's exactly what went very, very well back in those days. Well, that genre, the YA sort of book stuff, has really been corrupted in recent years. If you've gone to a bookstore recently, it's just two brown women making out on a cover, and that's exactly what they're trying to push into everything with their DEI agenda. And so the publishing industry's gone very, very off the rails, and you can't even just have fun books that are just wholesome anymore. For Steam and Country is wholesome, and it kind of just is like my ideal society. Rislandia, the series here, has a monarch who is benevolent, and benevolent monarchies something that, of course, the left doesn't like, and so they like their culture, they like their traditions. They're very happy and patriotic. That's why it's called For Steam and Country too, in the steampunk setting. So it's something that's very different than anything else out there, and I think you'll really love it. There's a 6-book series, and it builds up amazing. The later books I'm so proud of, guys. This is actually one of my first books right here, but it gets so cool. These characters really develop, and I would love for you to check this out. It's available, all of it's on ebook, print, and audio in the description below to make it easy for you. So thank you for supporting our channel and for supporting our books. It's so important here. All right. So actor John Lithgow shared that despite LGBTQ plus activists rage at him for taking on the role of Dumbledore in HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series, he will still play the character. Womp womp. And this is interesting. Like I said, the leftist mobs are impotent, and they always have been impotent. But the thing is, people thought there were way more of them than there actually are. And so this is how it all works. And this is why it's so crucial what we're doing here and building here and changing here and talking about what we talk about here. Because the social pressure matters. And if we apply social pressure in a direction of goodness, in a direction of conservative values, then the culture will start to shift that direction. These people will work towards us. Right now, they're just, we don't really have to cater to the extreme left. But imagine if it went a step further and they're like, actually, we don't have to cast a black person as Snape, right? That would be the next step, right? And so if we apply our social pressure, we actually are the majority, and we are going to win. And this is the vibe shift's real, guys. And I'm energized right now as we talk about this stuff. And especially as I see something like this where a guy got pressured and he didn't relent. We need more and more of that. We need more stories of this. So he confirmed he was going to play Dumbledore in March, saying some wonderful people are turning their attention back to Harry Potter. That's why it's been such a hard decision. I'll be about 87 years old at the wrap party, but I've said yes. A month later, HBO confirmed he would take the role in a press release saying he would be playing Dumbledore. Since the LGBTQ activists have been campaigning to get him to step away from the role because of J.K. Rowling's political positions against transgender activists in the United Kingdom. On the most recent Instagram post he shared back in March, he wrote, Mark Ruvolo wrote, sorry. This is somebody else. You're ruining your legacy by doing this Potter garbage. After being in GARP and Love is Strange, you should know better. Shame. Alyssa Thalman posted, Mr. Lithgow, I've been a huge fan of yours over the years. Even remember the time you portrayed a trans woman in The World According to GARP, and I'm begging you, please take a stand now, especially in the light of the UK Supreme Court decision to step down from the new Harry Potter J.K. Rowling project. It's just concern trolling. That's what these people are, and there's nothing to it. They're just concern trolls every single time. Just treat them like they're concern trolls. I get this all the time. You're associating with this person. You need to be more on board with this person. You should like this video game and not criticize this video game. And I'm just like, you know what? No. It's never about just somebody else's approval. It's about the values. And you know what? This is never goes anywhere, because if you give an inch to these people, you give a mile, and they never are happy enough. It's always going to be the next thing for the Inquisition. That's what these concern trolls do. Drives me crazy. I hope to encourage the rest of the cast to do the same. No amount of money or franchise esteem is worth the cost of trans lives. And listen how they phrase things. They act like J.K. Rowling's like out there like acting like the Punisher, like chasing after trans people. Like, she's sitting on a yacht smoking a cigar and enjoying her life. She literally is not interacting with anybody. And that's the difference. Like, I mean, that's the left for you. Words are violence, right? And that's why they're so crazy. And that's why exactly everybody should just ignore them. So there's even more. Some of you trans people may die, but this is the sacrifice I'm willing to make to line my own pockets, making fun of him. Your legacy will be that forever if you threw some of the most marginalized and vulnerable people on the planet under the bus for your own gain. We will not forget. And then somebody wrote, I used to look up to you. I have adored your performances. I'm heartbroken you would choose to appear in the new Harry Potter series. It actually pains me, oh my gosh, get a life, to think that you're not a stand-up man I always thought you were. Then, if I were a beloved actor who's made quite a show of rejecting right-wing hatred and bigotry, I would most certainly reconsider participating in a production that stands to benefit one bigot's crusade against a vulnerable, marginalized population, as she has so gleefully stated. Please use your platform to speak up for trans lives instead of taking blood money. You look at how hyperventilating these people are. And that's why their messages are failing, guys, because they act like somebody saying, hey, a guy wearing a dress is not a woman and shouldn't be in a woman's bathroom. They act like that's literally like putting somebody in a gulag or something like that. It's like, that guy can go do that. We just don't have to like hang out around him because we know he's kind of crazy and mentally ill. And we also don't need to put our kids around him. I think that's fair. And we can still call him a him because he's not a girl. I'm sorry. Is that so much to ask of society at this point? I guess it is. My gosh, so crazy. So he addressed this while speaking with the Times, because of course they try to go off of him at it. They asked if he was not expecting activists to try to shame him into leaving the role. He said, no, absolutely not. Of course, it was a big decision because it's probably the last major role I'll play. It's an 8-year commitment. So I was just thinking about mortality, and is this a very good winding down role? I thought, why is this a factor at all? I wonder how J.K. Rowling has absorbed it, he said. I suppose at a certain point I'll meet her and I'll be curious to talk to her. Look at how nice he is. And then he made it clear that criticism has not deterred him from taking the role whatsoever. He said, oh, heavens, no. What a British man. So this is it. He just totally ignored it. They went hard on Instagram. They're going to keep going hard. He's going to keep getting this pressure. We're going to see this from Harry Potter. What's interesting, again, just with this casting, you see that HBO did the thing with the diversity casting with Snape, and it's just obnoxious because, of course, giving into that is just a step in this direction, and that's still not enough for them because they're just going to keep on protesting this. They literally made that decision that's not going to appeal to anyone. In fact, it just kind of just doesn't feel right because Alan Rickman was such a good Snape that they really needed to just kind of go there with that role, and they really did the opposite. But at the same time, These guys are so impotent that they're going to keep making Harry Potter. They're not going to just ditch it because of, she said a man's a man, a woman's a woman. And neither are the actors, because this is a story that stands the test of time. Because it's really, if you look at the Harry Potter deal, it is a book about sacrificing oneself from your friends and doing the right thing. It's kind of a Christian message, and that sort of thing is beautiful and endures. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about the fantasy news, my friends. Thank you for being here. I've been having fun today. And this is my For Steam and Country. Grab this series, guys. It's so fun. It's in the description below. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the books. We'll be back soon.